Welcome, everybody, to the Get Bit Podcast, the podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are most certainly welcome here. I'm your host, the most Black Spartan. Of course, I am with my guest, my son, Chad. Chad, how you doing?
Tired.
You're tired? You had a wonderful field day. I'll give you that.
And we have another special guest.
Who's your special guest?
Lloyd.
You had to look?
AKA worse than Jago character.
You had to look to see who it was?
Yeah, I completely forgot his name. He's that bad of a character.
It's all right. It's okay. But yes, guys, we are the Give It podcast. Again, we are a little bit older. Well, some of us outside of present company included. So we do try to watch our language. However, words do fly. At the same time, guys, we do have an abundance of trailers tonight. So some trailers may not be suitable for young adults. So viewer discretion is advised. And again, apologize for the lateness, guys, as we are coming about, but others will be hopefully joining us very soon. But we're going to go ahead and get the ball rolling. So,
I have a question for people.
What's your question?
Who's the best One Punch Man character?
Who's the best One Punch character?
Yeah.
Outside of Saitama?
Yeah.
Who else? Garu is not as. You know what? Really, real quick. How do we get to Garu? How did we get to Garo? You know it's Garo. How do we get to Garo out of this? Is that your favorite character? Is what you meant to say?
Maybe.
As you're just swirling away from the question. It's okay if Garu's your favorite character. Then there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Although he is a little bit psychotic, but
he's like me.
He's like you. So you feel the need to. So you need to hunt. So you're a hero hunter.
Basically.
That literally just has no other mission in life but to take out heroes. That's you.
That's what I want to be when I grow up.
Yeah, okay, that's what I want to be when I grow up.
If someone tried to run my fade at field day and they almost caught these hands.
Wait a huh?
Okay, so
huh?
Okay.
Run that last sentence one more time.
So what happened was this kid in my class, and I don't even know his name. He tried to pick a fight with my friend.
Now, before you finish that sentence, this is live. Your mom's watching. Do you really want to tell that story?
Mom, you hear nothing, okay?
No, that's too late now.
You hear nothing.
You done already lost that battle. Go on and finish. You're already on recorded live now.
So he basically tried to pick a fight with one of the new kids after he called him garbage, and one of the new kids who just came to school is also my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
So he almost caught these hands, and he said that he could easily beat me in a 1v1 fight. And I'm sitting here like, you shouldn't want to test that theory. You sure about that, buddy?
Did you? Okay, for the sake of, before I move on, to save your hide, before I move on to Street Fighter 6, did you really tell somebody you can catch these hands?
Yeah. Hey, he started it.
Oh,
he put his fist up like he was doing the MCU.
I'm gonna stop you right there just to save you from your mom, because if your mom watches that, you got questions. So anyway, we do got trailers this week. You do got trailers, guys. Much love, especially with news from EVO Japan 2024. Like we did talk about in the previous podcast, that usually with EVO you do actually see trailer reveals, new fighters, things of that nature. And Japan didn't disappoint us for this time, because we did actually get to see gameplay from Street Fighter 6's newest character, Akuma.
Where will this path of strife take him? Ready yourself. Sacrifice yourself to the Satsui no Hano! Die a thousand deaths! Become the demon! I am the true master of the fist!
And this is why I love Akuma. As you can see, guys, he is available now in the Street Fighter 6 if you have the package. I am going to need a lot of practice. Akuma is one of my favorite fighters. I don't know, Chad, have you ever played Street Fighter with Akuma? Did you like it? Did you like playing with him?
I went to Virginia and absolutely destroyed Cassidy with Akuma.
You beat your sister. Oh, that's nice.
And then I whooped her with Gogeta in Dragon Ball Fighters.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned Dragon Ball because there is another trailer for that coming up.
Yeah,
But aside from that, that's not the only thing that came out from EVO Japan 2024. We also did get a look at Tekken 8, the season so far, especially with the new character reveal at the end.
Waffle House.
Vamos começar esse jogo. I can't take this anymore. I'll be control. In times of conflict and destruction, our destiny is my connection now. In my soul, it's beyond the reach of most immortal. So remember, no
All right, and that was the season 1 trailer with Tekken 8. As you see, a new character, Lydia, is joining us. And speaking of joining us, I see Joe and Tafari have met it.
Did we both just get here at the same time?
Yeah, y'all kind of did. Joe, where are you at?
It's very loud where I'm at.
Oh, we can't hear nothing but you.
Is he at a baseball game?
As I said, it's very loud where I'm at.
Oh, yeah, he went to a Sounds game.
Yeah, enjoy the $15 beers.
He might be on a little bit of a delay too. But while I got you guys, we did show the trailers for Street Fighter 6 Akuma, and we just showed Tekken 8. What are you guys' opinions? I guess Joel come back. But Tafari, what are your opinions on that as far as Akuma's live action, as well as what to expect from Tekken 8? Because they did give us a lot in the updates, as well as a new character.
I'll be honest. I didn't even know the other two characters dropped. Well, did that happen today, or has that been out? The trailer.
Well, as far as Akuma, he's been out since last week.
Akuma, I've seen. I'm saying the other two you just showed. Did those come out today, or was that trailer today, or was that recent?
That was also last weekend. So
Akuma has taken over the internet because that's the first I've even seen those two.
Yeah,
like I'm not a fighter, but Akuma has had my attention because.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a Street Fighter guy, but I bought the DLC for Ashura's Wrath just because Akuma was in it. So Akuma supremacy for the win.
Okay, no, but to answer your question, then the Lydia character will not be available until this summer, so probably next month or so, give or take. But yeah, in autumn and fall, that's where you're actually seeing a lot more of the other things coming in. A new story being added to Tekken 8, which I guess to continue what's going on with that. New stages, photo modes, and things of that nature. But overall, it looks great. I'm looking forward to it. But I need to get to EVO. I would love to get to EVO here in the States because I miss competition. But Chad, what'd you think? Can you give us words, sir? That's not a word. That's a sound.
Where's the blood?
Where's the blood? Where's the blood? Oh, you are messing.
Yeah,
with me.
I don't think they've ever really done it, and I feel like those are the two fighters that abstained from it. Like I know in Street Fighter 5 they had like the black and red streaks, but they never actually did like bloodshed. I think maybe like the arcade games, but that's about it.
Now that I think about it, even Turbo, even Third Strike, even Alpha, the blood was always animated. It wasn't really like red, but it was like a yellowish, kind of like a yellowish haze color. But even in 6, it's all paint, it's all bright colors. So really, the blood, that's Mortal Kombat, sir. Like you need blood. Like you're coming. This is coming from the Fortnite generation where you see no blood and you see no blood.
I see a lot of blood.
Okay, I see a lot of blood.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Like Siege.
When does Call of Duty have blood?
Call of Duty has blood. The one that I play has blood.
You're gonna make me start wondering. You're gonna make me start looking at your playlist from here on out.
Yeah, I'm never find out my playlist because it's all on Uncle Shop.
Oh, now you just told on yourself.
No.
Now you really just told on yourself.
No.
But with that being said, we also have other trailers also that came out from EVO Japan 2024. Again, this is another one because I am a Fatal Fury fan, so I have not played City of the Wolves yet. But when I do, this might actually wind up being my main character. Why? Because he's a black man with a pompadour and a karate gi. But he looks cool. But here's the trailer for Mr. Marco Rodriguez from Fatal Fury City of the Wolves.
This is the true path of a Kyokugen warrior. Feel it in your bones. Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves.
And this is why I'm looking forward to that. Only because it's a black man in a pompadour and a karate gi. But again,
I'm seeing tan Johnny Bravo and I can't unsee it.
You're right, but you still want to play him. But again, it's coming again. As far as City of the Wolves, it's a game that's not out yet. It'll actually be out sometime early next year. They haven't given a date on it. They just say early 2025. But again, looking freaking forward to it because I keep saying there's not enough. I mean, don't get me wrong. We do have Mortal Kombat. We do have Killer Instinct. We do have older Killer Instinct.
People still playing Killer Instinct.
There's a rumor, and I say rumor with a heavily used R. The next Xbox showcase, which won't be until June 9th, there is outside of 2 games that are being introduced. There's 2 games. Out of those 2 games, one was one that was heavily requested, and the other one was an update. So cross fingers if there's I'm hoping it's Gear 6. My thing is I need Gear 6, but I'll be happy with the Killer Instinct if they do it. But no, outside of that, out of the newest games we have, Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat 1, Guilty Gear Strive, if you do play that, Grand Blue Rising, you do have that list. But I always say City of the Wolves has always be one of those ones where, again, if you are an SNK Neo Geo fan, you're gonna love it. But I just can't wait till next year to play it. But any thoughts on that, Safari?
I mean, I might check it. If they drop like a demo or something, or like a time like tutorial that you can get all kind of like. I wish we got back into the era of demos. I feel weird that the only one I've played in like 3 years is Rebirth. I wish more fighters would give you like, here's like a 2-week free trial or something, because I want to experiment with some of them, but it's either like you're in or you're out. It looks like fun though.
Oh no, it does. And that's why I'm just looking so forward to this. But just to give a break in trailers, because we are kind of trailer heavy right now. What do you say, Chad?
Black man.
Yeah, it's a black dude.
Black man.
You just being goofy. But you just being goofy. But yeah. But before we get the trailers, because like I said, guys, not a lot really in the news side on the news side of things. We did have a crap load of trailers that we are going through, but we got to discuss this because in our other group of Blurred's Eye View, which again you can see every Tuesday and Thursday on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and any other place where podcasts can be seen. This was announced that I guess we kind of saw this coming, but again, it's still great news. Giancarlo Esposito is joining the MCU in a mystery role. However, it is not Professor X. They have already sat there and said it's not Professor X, but quote unquote, it's better than you can imagine. So we do know that it has been confirmed via Collider that at a recent CCXP panel, he did confirm that he is signed to the MCU. He has sat there and said that it's not Professor X, which again would have been great if he did. I always say Professor X and Denzel Washington as Magneto is the alternate Earth we need. That's just me. But now the rumor mill has started. Everybody out there from every side of the world is now trying to figure out what role is Esposito playing. So Tafari, I know we've talked about it extensively in our group chat. I wish the others were here to actually give their opinions as well. But I'm just going to ask you, if it's not Professor X, who do you think it is? Who do you think it is that he possibly could be playing?
I'll be honest. I took my nap and woke up to this headline. It didn't go through the chat, so I don't know who. I'm curious if just because the kind of character he's known to play, if he's going to play any kind of super villain, or is he going to be like a street level boss? Like we could possibly see him in Born Again or somewhere along that line. Like, because I feel like whoever he plays, it would be a crime to not have him and Luke Cage have some kind of dialogue. Because I didn't like that we killed off Cottonmouth so early, because that that should have been a rivalry that lasted a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this would be a chance to give the streets, or at least the street level of, because New York seems to be the only place that people go, that street level terror / anti-hero esque. But who's everybody speculating? Because I missed that whole part.
Well, the rumor mill has been pretty much going on that it could. Well, I mean, of course, the first thing was put out was Doom. The second one was Mr. Sinister. Somebody someone tried to throw out Galactus, but Galactus has already been called for. I'm gonna be honest. I said if anybody, I could see him playing, because I can't see him playing a minor hero or villain. I do see him playing a major hero in Blue Marvel. I could see him playing Blue Marvel just because that type of role I think would fit him if you're not going to give him Professor X. But again, it's out there because he's trying to say it's better than you can imagine. And when I hear something that says it's something better than you can imagine, that tells me that, okay, forget the small ones. You're a big one that nobody saw coming. And in the current MCU as it stands, we are in the multiverse saga. So that opens it up to 100 different possibilities. But if my money was on it, I think they got him playing Blue Marvel.
I mean, if he shows up in the suit and tie still, he could easily be playing like a slick Mephisto, just as himself. Just the way they have the new Lucifer shows and whatnot, and he's all suited and booted. He could easily just be playing a fashionable devil.
I mean, he could be he could play a more stylish Nightmare. He could.
That too, because anything that will let him dress how he normally does and still do a good monologue, I'm down for it.
I mean, Nightmare could work. Also Mephisto could work. Really, I mean, there's so many. That's what I say. If we're going the villain route, and let us know in the comments what you think. But it could go so many routes. And I gotta ask you, Chad, do you got any idea who he could possibly play?
So,
and now keep in mind what I said. It's roles that haven't been casted. It can't be anybody that's already. That's the ooh part. The ooh part. You can't cast him in a role that's already been casted for a person that's no longer with us.
I'm taking a look at his face.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of. This is only a possibility.
Okay.
But kind of seeing him playing as Gambit. Kind of.
As who?
Gambit. A little bit.
I don't know about Gambit in real life, because Gambit's more of a younger Cajun type.
Like Cajun fries?
No.
Like Princess and the Frog-ish.
Like Princess and the Frog. Cajun fries. No, I mean, that's what I mean. Thinking like the role where it fits him, like that's a man that, his role commands monologues, speaking, dapperness. So you're gonna, like I said before, the fact that he said it's better than you can imagine. And I'm pretty sure the others have Blurred's Eye View. Once they have a chance to talk about this, there's going to be a list. But again, overall, we're all happy that he's been campaigned to be on the MCU hard. So
if we're talking monologuing villains, then I'm instantly saying Mr. Sinister.
That is a possibility. Mr. Sinister hasn't been casted yet.
I forgot all about. That's what I was also trying to think of. Sinister.
Yeah, Mr. Sinister hasn't been casted yet at the MCU, and it's a possibility it could be him. So you are right, and Mr. Sinister does have his lines. So again,
Mr. Sinister, in my opinion, is the worst X-Men
the
villain.
worst X-Men villain for you so far. But trust me,
so far.
Oh, your journey is still starting. You'll find out.
Sabretooth.
You'll find out.
Samurai X.
You'll find out. Especially the fact that you're early, sir. But don't worry, don't worry. We'll get you. You'll see. I feel like Homer Simpson and Bart when they sit there. This is the worst day I've ever had. It's the worst day you ever had so far. But in other news, I kind of feel bad for the PC Master Race. Why? Because, well, if you're a Helldivers 2 fan, like a lot of people are, the PC Master Race have kind of been getting by. being the fact that they didn't have to sign to a PlayStation Network account, which means that if you were playing through Steam, you were given a grace period. Well, that grace period has now ended, and if you are a Steam Helldiver player, you will now have to connect your account to a PlayStation Network account. Now, here's the problem: for a lot of Steam players, they're in an area that may or may not have PlayStation Network account access. So because of that, that might put them in an SOL situation. And at the same time, a lot of Steam players don't want to connect to Sony because Sony has had data breaches from almost once every 2 years. So, of course, like most Steam players that want to, vent their frustrations, they went straight to the Arrowhead CEO, who has sat there and said, "It's not us, it's Sony. So if you want to be mad at anybody," and I love what the CEO did, he put in there about the contact the PlayStation support because Arrowhead has nothing to do with this. Now, again, this is where I will sit there and say this is where certain games are going. When certain games get popularity, people take notice. And don't get me wrong, Helldivers 2 is fun to play. It really is. It will also mess with you because the how can I put this so nicely? The ongoing battle changes on almost a weekly basis. So
have you played this week? Like, I don't know what I got dropped into, but I was not prepared at all.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of things. The automated automations have came back hard.
Not even that. Apparently, the whatever pesticide we've been using has like the bugs breeding like rabbits.
Yeah.
So now half the missions are just level 1 through 9, but it's the same mission. And you get thrown into immediately, hey, you need to clear out 100% with like a shorter time limit. I can't even get the samples I need now. I'm struggling to get through like level 3 missions.
Oh, at this point, I like the fact that the difficulty has jumped up, but it has almost jumped up to the point to where it'll have you scratching your head. But I still like to play it though. But no, you're right. There is certain missions where it's going to be a little bit hard to do that unless you have a good fire team, you ain't gonna make it. Like forget
like,
solo.
I like the intensity. I was just like, I lived for a week. What happened?
Oh, they decided that our difficulty level wasn't high enough. But to put a bow on that, yes, it does suck for Steam players. But again, if you're already a PlayStation player, you already have a PlayStation account, so it's not going to affect you. This is more toward the Steam individuals.
Are they trying to get crossplay going, or what was the reason? Later, from what I'm being told, it was like this initially. Then they got permission to basically deactivate it, and I think that's what made Steam take off and the game take off.
Yeah,
now Sony's like, well, now that it's popular, cut it back on. And that's why everybody's like, well, somebody's head needs to roll. And now he's like, hey, his, not mine. I didn't
right. Because Sony, because what they did, it is kind of brilliant. It is kind of brilliant that they sat there and said, you know what? Not everybody likes the fact you have to connect. Everybody likes Sony. Data breaches, things come up missing. I get it. So let's just deactivate this. And the moment they did, of course, Steam took a hold of it and said, "Oh, I don't need a PlayStation account. Cool, I'll buy it and go from there." So yeah, popularity increased, and now that the popularity did increase, now Sony's like, "Okay, you guys have to connect to us now," and they're like, "Why? You let us have this much fun for almost a year, almost half a year, and now all of a sudden you got to put restraints on us." So yeah, I mean the player count. I don't think the player count or players playing the subscription list is going to take too much of a hit because it's still popular. So I see a lot of people maybe grudgingly may sign on to get PlayStation Network access because at this point, unless like I said, for Steam, you are going to need it. But like I said, if you're already on PlayStation, you're already under the umbrella, so it's not going to affect you as much.
So do they have to have buy PSN, or do they just need to have a PlayStation account? Is what
they have to have a PlayStation account,
but they don't need to buy like 3 months of PSN. They can just okay. That's what I couldn't find on my deep dive, but yeah, this is very much
because I had to follow the PlayStation threads for a little while because that right there was the general question. It's like, am I buying PlayStation Plus or do I just need a PlayStation Network? do I just need a PlayStation Network account, or do I got to buy PSN Plus? And finally, some moderator for Sony finally sat there and said, you only need a PlayStation account. It's only going to need your basic information. That's it. You don't have to buy PlayStation Plus.
Was Helldivers 1 a PlayStation exclusive?
That's a good question.
Because I see it in the store, but I don't see it on Xbox. But I'm not sure if it was also on Steam. Because when the little logo comes up on the game, it comes up as if it's that PlayStation logo. It comes up as if it's an exclusive, which always confuses me because I'm like, my friends are playing this on 2 different methods. So why are we acting like y'all have rights to this, or the owner, the top dog in the fight? And now we see why, because between this and trying to like buy Paramount, Sony's trying to just get everybody.
Well, quick look up on that. It looks like it wasn't a Steam exclusive. It was for PlayStation, so it might have been a PlayStation exclusive.
Okay, and they have been sharing some of their stuff over to Steam because I know Spider-Man and God of War are on PCs now.
Yeah, so that probably explains it. So it was an exclusive, but still, oh no. Well, I mean, yeah, it's PC. PC loves mods, but they can't. Well, you love mods because mods give you different games in Roblox. That's why you love it.
I use mods on Blades and Sorcery to allow me to kill them.
You are seriously gonna get your watch list reviewed. You're gonna get your watch list reviewed. That ain't funny. You're gonna get your watch list reviewed. You're gonna be put on a list somewhere. Yeah. But move right along with the news. Like I said, not a lot of news. Well, a lot of news that's out there. We gotta talk about this one because Safari, I'm not gonna wait till the end. This has to be talked about because Disney decided to release Mufasa the Lion King. And
you really need this though.
Hang on.
That's what I wanted. That's why I brought it up, because I wanted his input. Because I saw the news slate like right before I got in, but I was like, if you have time, I don't want to throw off what you got going.
No. Well, we got time because we don't
have comic pulls today.
Yeah. So we don't have any comic pulls this. We don't have any comic pulls this. But yes, we gotta talk about this because, well, basically, I wonder. But for all those who haven't seen it, here's the trailer.
I'll say for this.
This story begins far beyond the mountains and the shadows. On the other side of the light. A lion was born without a drop of nobility in his blood. A lion who would change our lives forever. Mufasa. The earth will shake. Destiny awaits you.
Okay, I'm sorry, Tapar. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say before I start that?
For anybody who's as confused as me, when you watch this, read the first paragraph of the description. It very much kind of gives you an idea of what this movie is going to be like. Because not like in a sarcastic way, because I was confused. Because I'm like, how are we bringing back the old cast and the new cast? Where are we at? And if you read it, it shows you right underneath the video how this movie is going to be carried out.
I mean, I'm not against it. I mean, I was kind of watching it a second time, and I was like, what if it's telling the story from a different point of view as far as the Pride Lands go and how Mufasa actually rose to be the king? Because I kind of feel like it's how can I be so nice about this? I'm getting a very rebellion type story for this. Now, keep in mind, I haven't read the prognosis, the prognosis for this. But Chad, go ahead. What were you gonna say beforehand?
I was specifically doing this for Chad's input.
Do we really need this?
Well, at first, I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was like, I wasn't sure, but now I'm like, I want to see what this is. My curiosity level is like, okay, I want to see what this is because the more I look at it, it's a story we don't know. We only know the ending. We know that he does eventually become king. He eventually has a cub named Simba. He has a dispute with his brother, and then in all Disney purposes,
Rip.
Rip. R.I.P. Y'all
Me personally, I wouldn't take that level of disrespect.
Well, I mean, Mufasa was.
I would have just taken Scar with me.
Well, you couldn't take Scar with you if Scar has you by the paws.
I'll grab him.
Wait.
I'll grab his leg.
Real quick. You understand?
Remember, he had the top part of his hand.
Hang on, real quick before we get back to this. You do understand that in The Lion King, the man's paws were trying to climb up a solid rock. His brother is looking at him with all the disdain, then takes his claws into his paws, gives the most coldest line in all of, well, one of the coldest lines in all of Disney, and then just throws him off. Sir, where in your tactical advantage are you going to be able to grab a lion that just threw you off a rock?
I know. Pull the magical Glock that appears in your back pocket.
Well, you know what? I blame myself for asking.
I have something else to say.
I blame myself for asking that Disney apparently carries magical Glocks now.
Yep. And if we can have Encantonians, that's what I'm calling them now.
How do we get to Encanto from Lion King? Those are literally two different continents. How do we get? You know what? I'm leaving you alone. I'm leaving you alone.
Yeah, so I was confused because it was like, okay, it's clearly a pre-movie, but where 90% of the original cast is coming back. So where do they fit?
Right.
But the description of the trailer is Mufasa, the Lion King, is a story of Rafiki to relay the legend of Mufasa to the young lion cub Kiara, daughter of Simba and Nala, with Timon and Pumbaa lending their signature stick. Told in flashbacks, the story introduces Mufasa as an orphan cub, lost and alone until he meets a sympathetic lion named Taka, heir to a royal bloodline. The chance meeting sets in motion an expansive journey of an extraordinary group of misfits searching for their destiny. Their bonds will be tested as they work together to evade the threat and deadly foe. So we are bouncing between past, present, and Lion King 2, 1, and before is how this is going to go.
Well, that's not bad. See, that makes me want to watch it. But also want to point out the soundtrack better be fire.
Oh, it's going to be. The Beehive is preparing for another Lion King soundtrack album, and if it goes correctly, this can technically put Baby Blue in EGOT status.
I mean, she's already heading that way. That little girl is set up for life, and she's not even 16 yet. Hey, Joe.
Yeah. Well.
Okay. So we can hear you. You're up.
Yeah, I hear you guys fine.
Okay.
So first we got the live action movie.
So
what are we talking about?
Live action movie was disappointment.
Okay, so hold up. So Joe, we actually just watched the trailer for Mufasa Lion King, and basically wanting your opinion on that. Just because initially, as Tafari just read the synopsis for it, it's going to be a combination of past, present, and future as far as events going. Just telling the story of Mufasa and how he actually came along. So now that we know a little bit more about this, it's like I went from saying, like my son Chad had pointed out, why do we need this? To now it's like I want to watch it. I really want to see where it goes. But what? You got any opinions on the Lion King, sir?
I don't know why we're making a past, present, and future, because the present and future of Mufasa is he's dead, and he's dead. The other parts, it sounds like he's a random cub that gets picked up by the alpha of the pride, meaning he is stealing royalty and Scar's actual rightful place. So that means Scar was right the whole time. That the position should have been his to begin with. So, do we count Mufasa as stolen valor?
Well, it's not really stolen valor. It's more like, you know, you got picked and somebody's kind of hateful about it.
Yeah, we can see now if they both end up being adopted children, because that could be.
Then you just have sibling rivalry. You just have sibling rivalry at that point. Now, if Scar was now here's the thing, because it's been said that Scar, and again, this movie might confirm it, Scar was of noble blood. So because we now said Mufasa was a noble blood, and yet Mufasa became king and Scar didn't, that does kind of add to the saltiness of what we saw in the first Lion King movie. So I would not be against it. Go ahead.
Also, I'm noticing a lot of shots are once again taken directly from the animated Lion King. So, like, are we rehashing like certain musical scenes just for Mufasa because of reasons?
So
I think
this is gonna be Rafiki telling Simba's daughter basically the story of Mufasa's journey, which is why it's a past, present, and future film, because we're basically getting their entire lineage told to us through the one person who's probably seen it. Somebody else pointed out, like, lions are technically adults after like 3 years, whereas Rafiki ages like a human. So this entire lifespan of 3 generations has probably only been like 7 years in real time, but 7 years that he can tell to her. And I wouldn't be surprised if this ends with a setup for we can maybe do a Lion King 2 if this does well. Also, that's probably how the original cast is coming back for this, because that was my initial confusion of how are you getting Blue, who's clearly going to be playing a new child, and everyone coming back and we're doing a prequel story, but it's now I know. And I would also notice James Earl Jones is clearly missing from the cast, but the theory on Blurred's Eye was it will probably end with a cameo from him as adult Mufasa.
Yeah, I can see that, but
or Sky Mufasa.
Either one. I know James is tired, but he's like one of the few people with legal AI rights for his voice.
True, and they could actually use it. They could actually use that for the movie. I mean, he did already give his rights for Vader.
He gets paid for it, though. At least he's one of the few people that they're doing it the right way.
Yeah. So I mean, you're right. You're 100% right. He's at least getting that. But it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. But what are you gonna say, Chad? Before we move on to Dragon Ball,
doing another like Lion King 2. Why would we need that? That's like you saying, "Oh yeah, we need the Hunchback of Notre Dame 2." Why would we ever?
Because of one singular word: money.
You know, didn't Hunchback of Notre Dame, didn't that end with? Well, I mean, technically, he did survive. He did live. You got me thinking about old Disney movies now.
I think that's the second one.
Think about that one.
My only question is, when does this get into the new generation of Lion King, where they have force powers, Pride Rock starts floating, and 2 of them become Jedi at some point? When does this start?
Honestly, I need them to clean up the timeline, because according to this new Disney kids show, apparently Simba has a son that we just don't talk about, a literal red-headed stepchild who just is off in the Pride Lands doing adventures that no one has ever seen and just didn't want to be next in line for the throne. So
a lot of cleanup was definitely needed.
According to like some children's book, Scar got bit by a snake, and that's how. So I hope we get just a full. We need a strict line of canon events after this film.
Oh yeah, well.
So Scar got bit by the biblical.
Try that again, sir. Well, while you're trying to figure that out, so it definitely does come out December 20th. Like Tafari said, it'll depend on the success of this movie that we might see more Lion King movies down the road. But again, we'll hold that judgment until we actually see it. But speaking of things that we're seeing, because I know Joe, Tafari, you guys saw Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Before I play the trailer for Master and Apprentice, anything you guys want to say about it?
Dodge.
Dodge. Oh, Lord. For all those that don't know, they did show the trailer for Master and Apprentice. So here it is, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
We need to start you over for the basics.
I don't really like fighting very much.
Now let's start training. Maybe it'll be an actual challenge for me. Impressive.
All right, then. Today, I'll be in charge of your training.
I'm not gonna go easy on you, Master
Now
Roshi.
this matchup really takes me back.
Can't let my students surpass me too quickly. What do you say? All my training's led to this. I'll show you that I'm no pushover. Surprise!
Okay, let's do this thing, shall we?
Was that believable? Man.
Come on, Gohan, take this seriously.
What?
Serious mode.
My lord, might I suggest more training? Short naps?
All right, fine. I'll dance with you.
Oh my goodness, I wonder how that girl would feel with head.
I must. Broke another toy. Here I go.
No, seriously, I want you to hit me as hard as you can, Trunks.
I'll fight you with everything I have.
No idea what you really get, Trunks. Give it time.
Oh, chill out. No need to get so worked up.
Fall back, Trunks.
It's my favorite time waster. Bye.
Not what I was hoping for. Let's have a little fun.
Does human life have no value to you, androids?
No more holding back! Take this!
Whoever you are, I'm not letting you ruin what's left of our future.
All right, so that was the trailer for Master and Apprentice for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Safari, Joe, I'm gonna let you guys run with this one because I want to know your opinions of it.
We finally got Gohan with one arm.
One arm, no disability checks, and twins after him.
Yep. So yeah, definitely one arm Gohan, Super Saiyan one arm Gohan. As the leaks, I'm trying to do a quick little recap of everybody that's shown so far. But I mean, it does. I mean, first and foremost, it looks great. Sparking Zero, I'm going to be honest, it looks beautiful. But what were you going to say? What were you going to say, Chad?
I already said the characters that I'm going to absolutely destroy Cassidy with.
Okay, well, why are you trying to figure out how to beat your sister? How about opinions on the trailer, sir?
The trailer looks pretty good.
Okay.
I just hope they have. I just hope that they have an ability where Gohan tries to reach for his other arm, then he realizes that it's not there.
What?
Huh? So Gohan pulls a phantom feeling. I know that was a move. But Joe, what about you?
Then he gets PTSD.
I mean, this trailer definitely gives us a little sneak peek of probably the story mode because the Gohan getting killed scene is in there. I don't care about spoilers. This show is so old. Plus, it's alternated timeline, so it doesn't count as a spoiler anyways. So we do get probably a peek at story mode by the History Trunks special. I'm looking forward to it. They got Android 18 in there, so I'll be playing her as I usually do in most fighting games.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what to expect next. With this roster that's there, that means probably the Majins or maybe movie characters would be nice.
Yeah.
Looking at giant characters, maybe we'll look at like Erudigon and Swamp Thing with Corn.
That's kind of what I'm waiting to see too. If we're bringing back the giant characters, because so far some of the stuff like the dodge that Gohan did on Videl, that's straight out of Tenkaichi 3.
Yeah.
It is.
Curious to see what the battle damages look like, because I wanted one-armed Gohan, but no game so far has been bold enough to let him have 2 arms to start, and then battle damage is missing one.
Yeah. Well, either way, it's good. The other way, it just looks great. I will be honest with you. I'm almost changing my mind on whether or not I want to play Spark and Zero. What were you gonna say, Joe?
I feel like they mildly allude to it in the Kakarot DLC. Sorry, guys, I'm driving, so like no good light source here. I feel like they allude to the him being one armed, like very briefly in the DLC. Like the arm's just useless. They couldn't edit it out, but the arm is like completely like just not there.
Yeah.
That is how it went, right, Tafari, in the Kakarot DLC?
I believe so. I don't know if they showed it fully getting like blown off, but I think it just kind of goes from him having it to him not versus, and then in the final fight, you fight with him having 2 arms and then at 1 arm, but it's in separate levels. It's not so much at the same point. Whereas I know in like Storm 4, when they were supposed to lose their arms, they literally just shaded the bottom half of their arms black.
Interesting. Well,
Japanese censorship is weird because it's like,
well, they can't show any sort of decapitation, disembowelment, or dismemberment due to Japanese censorship practices because of like how bloody battles were. So that's a sensitive subject for a lot of Japanese people.
Makes
sense. That answers that question then, because that lets me know why it's been like that since 20. You know what it was? Storm 2, and I think Storm 3 gave you an option to turn the blood on and off. And if you turned it off, it replaced it with like water or like white effects, which was like a dope concept. And I'm like, cool, I appreciate that. And I thought every anime game was gonna follow suit. Yeah. After Storm 3, they were all just like, no, we have to either block it out or do some weird childish censor. And I didn't know that specifically dismemberment was not allowed because that's what they keep cutting out.
Yeah. Well, that's a fair point. But I did want to get to this trailer because it's called Funko Fusion. And
this was so wild. This was wildly entertaining, dark, and weird all at the same time.
It really was, but I don't know what to make of it, but we're going to play it for your viewing pleasure. You guys let us know what you think. This is called Funko Fusion.
I have waited. Misshapen in darkness. I have watched your worlds with envious eyes. Soon, I will be ready. In countless forms, I will strike. Your worlds will fall, and your people will suffer. And then all your power will be mine.
I got nothing.
I swear I didn't see any of that blood the first time I watched the trailer.
Definitely putting this on my wish list.
You're putting this on your wish list. So that was Funko Fusion. As you can see, guys, will be out September 13th of this year. Wish listed now. You know what it is? It reminds me really of if Lego, if you took Funko and basically put in the Lego Worlds type of thing and just gave it a little bit more a little bit more adult humor, that's basically it. And
yeah, this is adult Lego Dimensions.
Yeah, this was 100%. This is definitely adult Lego Dimensions. And you want to wish list this for somebody that has one Funko Pop. Actually, a friend of ours at Mayhem Media would love to talk to you because I would love to get his opinion on this because that man.
Right, that's why I tagged him first because I'm like, I was expecting like a fun, like Lego Star Wars. I'm like, this was very intense for a Funko trailer.
Oh, this was definitely intense.
Y'all have been getting more brand deals than Fortnite all this time, and no one batted an eye.
I mean, the more I look at that, I'm just like, if that is not a walking advertisement, but again, it's also a game that people want to play. It's interesting. I will say that, and like Joe said, adult Lego world. That's pretty much what it is. As you want to play it, which is funny, but that comes out in September. Nothing more to say to that except wow. Unless Joe, you want to add anything more to that?
I own exactly 3 3 Funko Pops, and they're all characters I cosplay. That's my rule on those things because I see that stuff and just think Beanie Babies. One day that bubble's gonna burst on these things.
It might be a while, but I see your point. But move right along, guys. We do got 2 other trailers before we do call it a night. This first trailer we're going to play, again, if you have not seen My Adventures with Superman, that's available on HBO Max. Again, highly recommend it because the trailer we're going to show now is the trailer for season 2.
Who the heck are you?
Stay away from my friends.
Lois, Jimmy, and the Man of Steel are back. Just 3 best friends living their best lives.
Let's just go with my plan.
Oh, what's your
Battling the worst supervillains in the universe.
With this many toys to play with, we can finally take out Superman.
What's your name?
Lex.
Lex Luthor.
You have no idea what you're up against.
Superman saves us from threats. Ever since that alien showed up, Metropolis has been a parade of freaks and destruction.
I will take what is rightfully mine and rebuild the Kryptonian Empire.
Run! Get out of here!
Did you think it would be that easy?
My Adventures with Superman Season 2 premieres May 25th from midnight to 1 a.m. on Toonami. Next day on Max.
I'm not alone.
Heroes unite.
Okay, real quick. This is just me. And again, I love the fact that if you have not seen My Adventure with Superman Season 1, highly recommend that you do. But are we slick getting a reemergence of Adult Swim Toonami?
My question is, what makes this so adult that needs to be at midnight? That this is not shown in, like, either prime time or a Toonami slot, like, 4 in the afternoon? Am I missing something in this series?
No,
So,
I mean,
Toonami is strictly back to being a Saturday night block, and they keep giving them different lengths. So what they're doing is sticking it in the middle, which is working because it's keeping people around between like DBZ and One Piece and these other new animes. Because I know, I think Ninja Kamui is about to be over and out. So
yeah, it's one shot.
Like,
it's literally one episode from being done.
But this I think is going back to old school Toonami, where it's like, hey, it's not just that it's raunchy, it has the ability to go there when it needs to, but it hasn't yet. So I think they're being nice about it with the room to, hey, when this is going to get intense or bloody or dark, we have free reign and we don't have to play with it. but we don't have to push that envelope every episode. So I like this because this to me feels like could be the start of a new DCAU, like Superman was the leading factor to Batman, Justice League, and Unlimited.
Yeah. And just to add to that, I mean, you're exactly right. If it does go dark, you're already situated to where supposedly most kids are supposed to be watching Adult Swim, but let's be honest, as kids, we were wild watching Adult Swim at midnight. So I guess for legal purposes, they have to put themselves in that time slot. But no, but Joe, to answer your question, my adventure with Superman so far has actually been pretty chill. It's not really ultra violent. It's not really adultish as far as humor or dialogue goes. I mean, it's really something like I would love to watch this with my kids and be fully safe in that fact. But yeah, as far as like you've already said, because it is Adult Swim, they have certain times they want to put it at just as precautions in the event that they might want to do Doomsday, and then we all know how Doomsday: The Death of Superman goes. So it could be something to that. But overall, like I said, if you haven't seen season 1 of My Adventure with Superman, highly recommend that you do, since season 2 won't be too far off from being out, because it is one of those ones where I give Gunn credit. He has definitely made his DCU his baby, and he has protected it and given us great content. Also, check out Infinite Crisis also available on Max. That's also pretty good as well. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, but
I'm hearing part 1 is great. I'm hearing part 2 is very much a middle movie for a third act that we need ASAP.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Part 2 is definitely the mid-size. But Joe, anything you want to add to that?
I mean, I still got to get caught up. I don't have Max, so I can't watch it. And as far as Tsunami goes, it's not Tsunami if you're not waking up at 3 in the morning and seeing the Yokohama Ferris wheel while being sung to in Japanese.
Fair.
It very much has anime aspects and influences to it. And I kind of like it's basically a team of younger Superman fans that have just grown up and got the studio. But I'm also unfamiliar with this origin story. It kind of gives me they're doing a good job of reflecting what Gunn has talked about, which is like, hey, we're not doing a full origin. We're just going to throw you into adult Superman and have him adjust. So it feels like an animated version of what the movie sounds like it's going to be. But I'm also unfamiliar with this story where apparently he is a child of war and something has been chasing him all the time.
Yeah. The way they tell it is a different telling. They do tweak some sides of it where it looks like he's being chased by a Brainiac type, which not Brainiac.
Okay, I've never seen whatever that creature or race is, and the fact that we keep seeing
So it's either a Brainiac, or if it's purely intent on raising the Kryptonian race again, then it's the Eradicator program trying to preserve and restart all Kryptonian life.
Yeah, it's they haven't said specifically, but that's my guess. Like it's leaning toward more the program versus Brainiac, but it has tendencies from both things. But again, if you get a chance to watch Joe, you're not going to be disappointed. But here's something that's a disappointment. And Safari, I wish I brought your skit on this because it was freaking perfect.
Have we discussed X-Men yet?
Wait,
not yet.
Skit?
Not yet.
Okay.
We're about to after this one, Joe. So Batman Arkham Shadow. Safari, if you've never seen Safari TV on social media, he had the perfect thing for this. What do you say, Joe?
I didn't say anything. I'm messing with lights.
Gotcha. So as I'm playing this trailer, again, I'm gonna find Safari's skit momentarily. But if you're wondering,
right now I'm Batman.
If you're wondering why I said that this is gonna tick you off, just wait to the end. Yeah, that part. That we are getting another Batman Arkham Shadow at the same time. It's only on MetaQuest 3. Now, again, because I'm not saying this feels like a good idea, bad idea. And what I mean by that is Tafari has summed it up so well.
I should have known because I didn't see Rocksteady's name anywhere in this because they don't exist anymore. Thanks, Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
But it was just the double letdown of MetaQuest. I'm like, we have a Arkham VR that's like, it was cool for what it was, but it was like all of 20 minutes. Why? What are we doing?
And that's the thing I didn't get. I mean, like you said, you didn't see the Rocksteady icon, which was like dead giveaway, like they're behind this. And I'm not saying VR games don't work. Let me stress this very heavily as I try to say this as best as I can. VR games don't really have the same appeal as peripheral games do. Don't get me wrong; it has community. There are guys out there that love sorcery and blades because there's somebody right next to me that loves playing on his Oculus that way. But it's just a.
Speaking of Oculus, I'm thinking about starting my own Oculus type channel.
Yeah, but you need permission first.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
So you play the game, let me know how it is, because I'm not. This will be the Arkham game I don't have, and who's doing the voice? Because Kevin's not here.
That's the thing. It's like that's the thing. Where it's a lot of questions because yes, it's a VR game. Yes, did Kevin Conroy do a voice acting on this? Knowing my son, he probably will get a chance to play it. And I will ask him for his opinions on it. But again, I feel like this is another miss. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm okay with the Batman game, but I think the Arkham series has ran its course. I would love to see a Nightwing game. I would love to see a Red Hood game. I would even love to see something of Batgirl, although the movie still needs to come out the Warner Bros. Vault. Still needs to come out. But something different to where it's like, okay, we're getting something new, but you're making only limited to VR, only limited to Facebook to Meta, which only tells me Meta has either made this extremely exclusive or there's a problem with getting people to buy VR games. One of the two.
I just levels of disappointment. Only thing I think you could maybe do is maybe throw it 30, 40 years in the future, make an Arkham Beyond, and maybe do a Terry story in a futuristic Gotham. It gives you a chance to rehash it, but you also can use the futuristic mechanics, make it a lot more fun, make it a lot more ridiculous, and try something different. Because between the Beyond movie you didn't make, but the fans who were loving him for all of the 5 minutes he's in Crisis, clearly there is a market for him. But
yeah,
you also murdered the one studio, or the studio that made it committed like seppuku. So
I'm not gonna lie, I would be slightly Batman. Here, you know what? As you say it, there's always been a great opportunity to do a Batman Beyond game. You had multiple choices. You had multiple chances to do it, and even more so, the story was already there. Now, again, this just feels like this feels like VR is failing. We need a game that everybody's going to play, or need a VR to play, and I'm just going to be like, this feels like cash grab. It's what Nintendo does to emulators. Instead of hey, emulators are doing the good work of saying, here, if you don't have a Nintendo game, if you don't have the NES system, or you don't have a Switch, or you don't have a GameCube, here's an emulator. Here's the game files. You can play all of your favorite Nintendo games to your heart's content until Nintendo does a cease and desist on the emulators and then tries to go after people that actually downloaded it. And again, that's what makes me feel like. And the reason why I use Nintendo in relation to Arkham Shadow is because you're basically pointing people in the direction that you want them to go instead of just making it open for everyone, because not everybody likes VR. Some people don't like first-person shooters. Some people like third-person views. Some people don't like survival horror. Some people don't like soul-like games. The thing is, when you start making it exclusive, it screams desperate to me. Much like Nintendo. Although Nintendo ever sponsors our show, this never happened. But no, I mean, like, what do you guys think? Like, am I reaching at this point saying that what's going on with Shadow being a VR only game feels like it's a cash grab or attention, or just simply put, it's only for a specific group?
In the words of the 85 South show, quit touching stuff.
Pretty much. Joe, what about you?
I mean, if this is a sequel to the last VR game, all this is going to be is just being a detective and like pointing and clicking adventure, which is, to be fair, what the original adventure genre was. So, Batman adventure of being the world's greatest detective as opposed to being the world's best hospitalizer. So, you know, to each their own. I mean, the point and click genre is still very popular. I mean, it's considered chic right now since it's retro.
True. But I guess it's one of those things we'll just have to see, because, like I said, I love the fact that how you have such a great intro, but it's going to be something I'll never play.
Yeah,
I think the thing that bothers people is the Batman Arkham name. I think that this was just called Batman Search and Shadows or something else. Just drop the Arkham name completely. Half the complaints would go away.
Yeah, that's also true.
Have you not done enough damage this year? You still have like 8 different seasons of DLC you promised to roll out for Suicide Squad, and the first one was not received well because it's just rehash crap with like a very unlikable version of Joker, which is saying a lot. And then the last Arkham VR game we had was like 20 minutes long, and it turned out to all just be a dream.
That is very much true, but
the only thing I can see is if they play off of what Justice League or Suicide Squad said, where he was the Demon Bat for a couple years, and we're in that era, and maybe we're seeing that, then maybe. But I don't know. Y'all can find out for me. I'll watch your Let's Plays.
I'm just gonna let my son find out, and I'll go from there.
I don't even know how I'm supposed to play it. I have Quest 2.
Well, it's probably Quest compatible.
That's another thing. Why are we on a Quest 3? What is I feel like we just got to meta.
There's no difference between Quest 2 and Quest 3.
Pricing.
Like, they said, like, there's this one game that called Five Nights at Freddy's Home Wonder or something like that. They said that it was exclusive to Meta Quest 3, right? Next day, I go to the Oculus store. I see, oh, why don't you buy this game for $59 for Quest 2? What's the point of saying that it's exclusive for Quest 3 when you're just going to turn around and release it for Quest 2?
It's probably going to your account, not the game.
Yeah.
Which kind of does answer the question. It's like, why do you have differences when it's all compatible?
And there's actually no difference between anything at all. Like, you can still, like they said, like I saw this one comment where someone that Meta or something like that said, excuse me, or, oh, well, you can get Peacock or something like that on Meta Quest 3. You can get Peacock on Meta Quest 2.
Yeah, they just get you to buy stuff. But fair point. I like the fact. Thank you with the analysis on the Oculus and Meta. I'm proud of you about that one.
I still need to cancel my Paramount free trial because I've watched all of Knuckles.
It's still a great series, but
I'm glad.
Well, you still got it. You need to watch Lower Decks.
I've heard about that. Is it worth the binge?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth watching.
Okay. I also just rebought 06 today because apparently I guess the Xbox 360 store is dying. So for library's sake, I'm picking it up with the DLC, even though I have it here and it's not backwards compatible. But the fact that they made that game relevant again in the Knuckles show, and Knuckles is now the Iblis trigger.
Yeah. So the Xbox 360 servers are about to be pretty much 86. So goodbye Marketplace. But The last thing we're going to talk about tonight, guys. Again, I was kind of waiting for Joe to get situated because, yeah, let's talk about the grief counseling session that we continue to keep on. That's called X-Men 97. We are going to talk about X-Men 97 episode 8, Tolerance is Extinction Part 1. We are going to talk about it. If you have not seen this episode and you do not want to get spoiled, please, for the next 2 to 3 minutes, mute yourself, mute us, because again, and go watch it. You won't be disappointed, but at the same time, if you don't want us to spoil it for you, please mute yourself for the next 2 or 3 minutes. Now, 3, 2, and 1. You've been warned. So I'm gonna go around the table. Tafari, I'm gonna start with you, sir. Your opinions on the episode 8.
My two alternate titles are Magneto is right and Magneto and cameos.
Ain't that the truth? Joe?
I'm very happy Wolverine finally got to reenact scenes from Logan. Also, yes, Magneto was right about in the global amount of 6 figures worth of being right.
Yeah, I can argue that. But yes, to pretty much, I mean, there were a lot of things about this episode that were great. Cyclops, the whole Summer family had a bit of a Fast and Furious moment. I will say that.
Apparently, he's a big James Bond fan, so he's like, what if I can sneak in a Porsche and make a Bond meets an X-Men movie?
I just love the fact Cable just out of the whole time as you're fighting human sentinels out of nowhere, you have a Porsche on a Blackbird, and it's like I'll just smile.
That's not the thing that I laughed at. The thing that I laughed at on the second rewatch during that portion is Scott and Jean are calling him Cable until the action picks up. Then it changed to Nathan, and then it changed to Jean being a mom and say, "Buckle your seatbelt. What's wrong with you?" And then it just everything was Nathan. It's like you can call me Cable.
Right. But no, I did like that scene. The whole thing from beginning to end was still great. Bastion is a problem, and even more so, the fact that we saw other villains that he talked to, where I think it was Doom, it was Baron Zemo, Killmonger.
It was not Killmonger. They did a cameo count. Killmonger was not one of the people that was there.
Who was the third person that he was talking to?
We didn't get a third person. People just saw the dread-headed hair on the side and just assumed the silhouette was Killmonger.
That's what I assumed, because I was like, outside of Doom and Baron Zemo, which were clear for the world to see. I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw the Killmonger, I saw the locks in the back. I'm like, he's talking to Killmonger. But again, correction on that, it wasn't Killmonger. But I think, and I'm just gonna throw this out to you guys. Dr. Cooper. Can we just assume it's Mystique at this point?
Nope. It's confirmed not Mystique either.
It's been confirmed already?
That is literally Valerie Cooper, government liaison, working with X Factor. She's worked with X Factor. She was the government liaison to the Thunderbolts. That is the Valerie Cooper.
I just was confused. I'm like, I get it, but I don't. Why are you here? That was my whole question the entire time in the lab. What?
Because if it was Mystique,
go ahead, Joe.
Because it can't be Mystique. And the reason why is because every Sentinel in a 50-mile area, because of what Bastion has done to people, would have picked up on Mystique immediately.
Go ahead, Gerard.
I was gonna say I kind of ruled her out in Genosha when everyone but her was getting zapped. I'm like, I don't care how much cell manipulation you can do. There's no way we have the Sentinel Hydra and Mystique is able to duck that, because they literally shot everyone around her, just kept moving. But my confusion was just, again, why are you here? Like, she just kind of felt like she was, unless she's like the one who dragged Magneto out of the rubble and gave him up. I'm just like, how or why, what purpose are you serving right now?
I'm still stuck on the fact that this woman has basically been untouched for 5 episodes. I mean, what other? I mean, I'm not saying that she's not, but again, you were undamaged for 5 episodes in areas where most people didn't survive. What other possible explanation is there outside of the fact that maybe she could be? But again, if it's already been confirmed that she's not Mystique, I guess that blows it out the water. But I'm sorry, I'm still on the other side of that, to where I think like there's got to be something, the reason why this woman has been able to get through untouched until the end now, where Bastion's a little bit peeved at her, but it's like you didn't think that she was going to release Magneto the whole time, that she felt sorry about everything.
It felt like that's why she was there. She was like, "Oh, could you please curse me?" I'm like, I get what you're asking, but you still have not like fully said if you've contributed to this or not, and in what ways. That's like Trish Tilby is more of an op than you at the moment, and
Tilby was that was funny between her and Beast, where you find out she's a human sentinel. But I love the fact of how it was so written that it's like we did not realize how many humans Bastion had already got to the point to where it's almost like George A. Romero, Night of the Living Dead type. It was almost like that. But
like it kind of had the horror. Like one of my friends did a reaction. They straight up jumped when his mom started, when she was like, "Yeah, it's his final drawing," and then she started spazzing out. And not gonna lie, I definitely thought the kids were gonna turn. Like when we showed them all the family on the couch, I was like, it could literally be it could be the parents, the kid, or the baby. It's up for anybody.
And it's so wild to actually see that. It's like this was well done. It's like you are seeing Operation Zero Tolerance happen, and at the same time, it's like Bastion's reach has really. I mean, I thought it was maybe just a few. No, you have literally swarms of flying human sentinels. Also, I feel so bad for Beast, because that Blackbird subscription plan is not working out well at this point.
Three Blackbirds for 3 months.
Right. Just
and
at this point, I mean, and a Porsche. So it's like, I feel sorry for Beast, because every time the Blackbird leaves the mansion, you're wondering if it's going to be the same one that comes back. But no, it's just the whole idea. Just also not throw away from the mansion. Let me point that out as well. The fight scenes, as Joe had pointed out, he got Wolverine and Nightcrawler. Was anybody else like me? I kind of rooted when I saw Nightcrawler with the 3 swords. It just like, and it was that to me between Nightcrawler and Wolverine was a great fight scene. As they were protecting Rogue from the human sentinels, but I got no complaints about just seeing Nightcrawler go from talking about peace, but I kind of felt like it was a try Jesus, not me moment.
That's why I had the memes ready. I'm mad because when I did the render, I've realized I forgot one, and I'm trying to put it up on the YouTube channel now. But it's just the fact that he's like, there's always that one person in the pulpit that's a godly man now, but he used to be about that life.
Right. And he picked up those swords and went to work. But love that scene. I love the fact that, you're really seeing a turning point, because again, we're 2 episodes away from being finished with the first season. Because I think they're all part 1, part 2, and part 3. With the mansion being destroyed again, but the cameos at the end, guys. I mean, Silver Samurai, Spider-Man, Omega Red. Oh no, wait, Joe.
I was going to say, we can sum this up very well for Nightcrawler. I will send you to Jesus.
Pretty much. But
God can judge you. It is my job to send you to him.
Pretty much.
Even with the
Now, the better thing is, if you don't want to talk to me, you can go talk to Jesus. Let me get you to him.
I can schedule you a meeting. But I do kind of like the like you pointed it out too, and if you catch Bo on Twitter pretty much during the show's run on Wednesdays, he'll reply. I got 2 out of 3, so I was like, I kind of like the family aspect, because you have Nightcrawler talking about chosen family. You have these 3 acts that he pointed out he did it in like a set of 3 on purpose, where it's Roberto, Jubilee, and his mom and their family kind of disowning him. You've got Jean kind of coming into this family, even though she's felt like an alien this whole time. And then you get to the point where, once danger kicks in, he's no longer Cable. He's Nathan, to the point where he's like, can you quit bossing me around? Put your seatbelt on. And then you have the third act, which is Wolverine and Nightcrawler. And you notice the first thing he does when he gets there, he takes the girl's hands for trying to touch Rogue.
Yeah.
And he's like, I have 6 reasons. No, we have 9. And to actually seeing the inside of the BAMF.
Yeah. That's saying a lot. Although I do have to get to what Joe was saying about Magneto was right. Magneto, as in full command, let's just say he's somewhat clothed, decided to basically put Taskmaster on the planet. And as Joe has said, his kill streak was what, in the 6 figures?
6 figures. That's reportedly what you got to think about, because if it's a global EMP, he has knocked out every airplane, shut down every hospital, shut down anybody with the pacemaker or pacer wires.
Yeah.
He is killed on a mass scale not seen probably ever. But that's one of those. That's his way of declaring war. I mean, he's right, but
I mean, yeah, you're 100% right. He said, "Don't let me let you down," and then you decided to imprison him, and now he decided that, let me just go ahead and put this around the world and let me help out with the population a little bit.
Also, I mean, he killed pretty much any of those Sentinels currently flying.
Yeah. Oh, they're definitely out the air.
Not to mention Bastion's like, well, shit.
Pretty much. You ticked off the wrong mutant. But Charles showing up. I hope I'm not.
Let's call it what it is. Logan manifested Charles.
Just the look that he gives. I hope I'm not too late. While everybody has the no crap Sherlock look on their face. You hella late, Charles.
So some people are thinking like the EMP was so powerful that the second he entered Earth's magnetic field, it hit him in space. And that's why he crashed the way he did.
Probably. That or he was being chased by the Shi'ar because the ship was that damaged.
Yeah.
That too, I noticed. And he had the weird ant head suit on again. I'm curious if his legs are working, though, because I did see him dusting off the chair in the trailer. So I'm fully convinced Deathbird will repossess his legs.
Probably. Oh,
no, I mean, the power, if he doesn't have the power armor, he doesn't have his legs.
Yeah, if he has the power to walk, that means his abilities have been muted. So, I mean, it could be that too. But yeah, I mean, outside of this, are we? I mean, like I said before, seeing Silver Samurai, Spider-Man, Omega Red, it looks like we're bound to actually see cameos in the next 2 episodes. So, I mean,
I'm hoping, because I said beginning of the season, I wouldn't be surprised if we get those classic from the OG show, those 5-second face reveals that don't turn out to be much, but we use it as a testing ground because everybody is screaming for Spider-Man to come back.
Oh yeah, they're screaming for Spider-Man animated series to come back just because of how many crossovers it had. So I wouldn't be surprised if it is a test. It wouldn't make sense to do that. But yeah, as far as just overall opinions on episode 8, guys, and also to Bo, if you ever want to be on any of our shows, we would love to have you, because I think at this point, sir, I think you've been rehired and you don't want to tell nobody. Which again would be great if you are rehired. If you are rehired to finish X-Men 97 season 2, bravo, because if this is your season 1, sir, wow. That's all I can sit there and say. But again, open invitation. If you ever do watch this podcast, we would love to have you here or on Blurred's Eye View, whatever you prefer. Just saying.
That man is making magic. This, I guarantee you, if and when this comes out, this will be one that will not stay on shelves very long.
Oh no, it's just like all of the physical media. Once it's out there, scalpers will get to it and basically try to jack up the rates. But
surprisingly, the ones that came out this week, Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Obi-Wan, are still somewhat out there. Somewhat. Mine came early, thank God, but I've heard it's actually not bad out there. But another thing with the cameos, are all three of the people that they showed people that could feel not just the lights going up, but like can actually feel what Magneto was doing? Because I know spiders can sense the magnetic sense of the earth.
Yes,
the samurai.
So Silver Samurai, he has teleportation platforms similar to Magic. He just like, well, crap, all of Tokyo went out. Omega Red can't sense crap. He was in the stasis tank and woke up.
Yeah.
Because of previous events in the original X-Men series. The only one that could actually sense anything is Pete.
I figured at least him and maybe the two guys who have metal bodies / suits.
Yeah. So that would make sense. But
and Wolverine, because Wolverine still they haven't confirmed that he's alive to the X-Men. So the fact that it just happened and Wolverine from probably past experience immediately knew who caused the problem, and it's just so he went to the Santa's workshop and just shut everything down.
Pretty much.
Finally got his beer though.
In the metal bones, it's like
that's what I'm saying. They didn't say it, but he had to have like a riddle, a familiar like racket in his bones. Also,
no, I would have thought like, my nickel stuck to my thigh. That's probably Magneto.
Also, shout out to Morph trying to go. I'm the Juggernaut bitch and getting bodied immediately.
Yeah, that was nice. I was like, I missed that scene. It's like, wait, when did the Juggernaut get here? Oh, that must be Morph.
Pretty much. But overall, guys, what are we expecting in the part 2 of Extinction is the trilogy of this? Any guesses on what we're going to see in part 2? Because next Wednesday should be interesting.
It's a penultimate episode, so if they want to do something absolutely horrifying, because we know that Bastion's a technopath. I don't know if he's got telekinesis or not.
Didn't say. So I'm gonna say maybe.
Well, we know now he's a technopath because they said he could talk to machines.
Yeah.
But we also know that Magneto right now is very angry. So I'm wondering if we're going to see something like just absolutely left field and see like actually didn't Bo actually say something about Fatal Attraction?
I feel like I remember seeing him talk.
Yeah, it was one of the episodes to watch.
Ooh. If he's talking about Fatal Attraction, then there's only one thing that's going to happen. And from that, I feel very bad for all you Wolverine fans out there very shortly.
Is it Fatal Attraction? I know he said one man's worth. Let me see.
No, he said Reed.
Measurement.
What he said Reed, I think, was Fatal Attraction.
Oh, yeah. I have that. I think I still have it. Hold on, because he did share it.
It was watch these, but I think he also said read something. And I want to say it's Fatal Attraction.
Yes, Fatal Attraction.
Okay, then yeah, the bad thing's going to happen to Wolverine people. The very bad thing. Because Magneto just finally has enough of it.
Yeah, an offer of salvation, a betrayal most bitter.
Yeah, there we go. So that's going to be interesting as far as that. I'll just go ahead and say, I'm sorry, go ahead, Joe.
So the one thing I am seeing because of this series is an absolute tidal wave of all this Gambit Rogue fan art. And all of them being together and them being happy, and a lot of us are just pointing people to the comic book store because we're sitting there like, this is actually happening in the comic book, guys. Like, they were a happily married couple. They were a cat parents to 3 cats: Figaro, Lucifer, and Oliver. All Disney cats. We wonder why they got those names. We know why. Those cats can survive in a magically exploding building and just like curl up next to Excalibur. Nothing can hurt those cats. But the relationship that you want Gambit and Rogue to have is in the comic books. Please go check out Mr. and Mrs. X. That is where their marriage starts, and it continues in Krakoa. They are a happily married couple in these books. So if you want less trauma, go read the books.
If you want less, to a certain extent, to a certain extent, for you get your heart broken.
I can only help ease the pain so much.
To a certain extent, you gotta tell them to a certain extent, but I guess for me, like I said, I want to see these cameos go. I still think Spider-Man's going to make an appearance. I still think Fireman's going to make an appearance somewhere in this. I still think we're going to see Captain America just because of, I'm not going to go a lot farther than I thought about that. I still want to see Captain America kind of give a flashback to how I finally found my shield.
I wanted the end credit scene to just be him with the shovel, just nope. And then you just see 50 other holes dug out. Like, you have time, you've been frozen in worse situations.
Right.
If we are getting more cameos, it would be in a response scenario. So I would imagine us seeing potentially Doctor Strange, the Fantastic Four, some of the Avengers, since it's 97, and this is me reaching and me hoping, possibly some of the Thunderbolts, the original OG team. Trying to think who else we've seen. Who else was part of that? Iron Man, maybe the Hulk. Oh, by the way, we did not talk about this, and I'm glad we forgot about this because I love bringing this up. The fact that Bastion is when Bastion is talking to Zemo and Doom, Zemo's on board with this because it's Zemo.
Right.
And I love that Doom so elegantly put, and I'm not doing the elegant quote. Doom just basically looks at Bastion and is like, "Nah, this is too messed up even for Doom.
Yeah.
You're on your own. Peace."
Hey,
He was literally just like, what was the exact quote? Is like, this warfare or something?
This warfare is either beneath me or this warfare is something. I don't know exactly.
It was something along the lines of, don't accept my passage in this situation as acceptance for blatant war crimes.
Yeah.
Which translation,
Which I just took as translation. Like, yeah, this is too much even for Doom.
Right.
Translation, Genosha was a success. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Put that on me.
Pretty much. Also, he's probably telling Bastion, is like, I have mutants in Latveria. Do not.
I was waiting to see if that was going to be a thing.
Yeah, but Doom's not going to. That's the one time we're going to get Doom's attention. It's like, I'm sorry, you said what about Latveria? You are welcome to try, but no. Overall, I mean, like I said before, where parts 2 and 3 are going to go, I love the fact that right now it's up in the air. And again, Mr. Bo, sir, the writing you have done on this, like I said, if you've been rehired, let us know because Disney will make a grave mistake not bringing you back for season 2. But like I said, in case that you have free time, doors are open. Either here at Get Bit or definitely here at Blurred's Eye View. We would love to have you and ask questions that we know outside of an NDA you probably can't tell us. But before we kind of wrap this
Probably
up,
both, because I want to be there when we do it.
Yeah, definitely that. So before we do wrap this up, because like I said, we don't have comic pools this week, but there is one thing
for a reason.
For a reason, definitely for a reason.
Peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
So what? So that's part.
That Joe was busy with peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
I mean, yeah, well, that too. Joe was.
No, actually, that is actually not the reason. By the way, baseball's boring. It has more mini games than Final Fantasy VII to make people pay attention. I've learned that tonight.
I was wondering what your opinion on that, but it was going to be during the innings. But no, Joe was right.
Very rarely did I pay attention to that game.
But no, that's not the reason why we don't have comp pools tonight. The reason why is because tomorrow, guys, as we usually do say here on Get Bit, that we do support Rick's Comic City. But tomorrow, definitely tomorrow, Saturday, your local comic book store. I know for us here in Middle Tennessee, it's Rick's Comic City. It could be anywhere else, wherever you do have a comic book store in your local area. Tomorrow is Free Comic Book Day, which basically means that your comic book store will have a selection of comic books for free. Yes, RFEE. I cannot believe I had to think about spelling the word free. But yes, comic books are free. What I mean by that is certain specific ones. Now, it does not mean you just go running into the comic book store and thinking you can pick up anything. Please, please, please follow the instructions that when you get there. I know for Rick's Comic City, they're pretty good about it. They actually have a certain area where it's roped off to where you'll be able to enjoy comic books. You might even be able to get to, depending on your comic book store, they may have certain guests there. They may have certain they may have certain guests there, certain artists. It just depends. However, this is a perfect time, as you can see Joe literally with his comics plenty
Well,
of.
this is very heavy, and I got this today. This is the entirety of Astro City.
Nice.
So your comic book stores
Mhm.
to steal thunder from Will.
Mhm.
A lot of comic stores will be doing mass sales on stores. My store, Rick's Comic City in Donaldson. I feel like I should get a cheap pops whoop from like the crowd for that.
We're
Right
working
here in
on
Donaldson.
we're working on sound effects.
The entire store is 30% off.
Mhm.
All of this was under $100.
And
and it
also-
was like for the whole weekend, but that's because it was a subscriber, and like Brett told me last week, is like, if you come in Friday, we're still giving the free comic day discounts. Like, I'll be there.
At the same
I
time,
also
guys-
did point out.
Oh, no,
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I also pointed out to them one flaw, and they are now kicking themselves.
Uh-oh.
It's like, guys, where's the book on Operation Zero Tolerance in your X-Men section? You're gonna need a ton of those. Like, what are you talking about? It's like X-Men 97. People were gonna come in here who are watching that animated series and we're gonna want to read about Bastion and Operation Zero Tolerance. And then they just like looked at me and just like, shit.
Yeah, you caused, apparently you pulled a doom and just caused disruption as you left. You disruption with your prize and decided to leave. But to also add on to what Joe is saying, guys, the reason why we stress free comic book day so much is because not only for the avid comic book reader, like myself, I try to make a tradition of taking my sons and nephews to free comic book day. Just because it's a great way to introduce people who have never read comics, who have never been to a comic book store, because again, we say this all the time here on Get Bit Podcast. Yes, it is great. Amazon is great. Barnes & Noble is great. Places that have a Starbucks inside of it. I get it. Reading comic books online digitally, I also get it. But going to a comic book store is an experience. The fact that you can meet others that are like-minded, the fact that you can see other comic books out there that you may not know about and get recommendations for, that you may see other mangas, other anime, other collectibles, other toy collection items. Because trust me, my son and my nephews, when they have good report cards, clean me out every comic book day. So, because I bribe them to get good grades. That's the kind of parent I am. I bribe.
Some gaming shops have them too. Like my retro store back home still has it. I have the two I got from them like 3 years back. I got a first issue of the High Republic, and then the 30th anniversary of the Sonic Archie series.
Nice.
Yes.
So again, guys, if for tomorrow and tomorrow only, again, if you are in the Middle Tennessee area, definitely check out Rick's Comic City for free comic book day. Also, Great Escape. And I only say Rick's because Rick's is Nashville's #1 go-to place for comic books for the last 7 years. Definitely check them out. If you are not in the Middle Tennessee area, guys, there's always a comic book store near you. With the help of Google, you can definitely find it. Go enjoy something for free. I mean, come on, it's free. The only thing it's going to cost you is just the gas to get there. But at the same time, take a friend, take somebody that you know, take somebody that, just has never been to a comic book store before. Because, again, it's an experience that will either tell you that you love comic books, that you love manga, that you love Funkos. Either way, you're bound to find something fun there. And, of course, again, you just can't beat an experience versus reading online. So, and also, kids, I completely forgot, read the banned books. I cannot stress that enough. Me, Joe, and Zafari always say this, especially here at the podcast, that there are books out there that don't want you to read, that you should read, that, again, will be better for you. So definitely read the banned books. But definitely have fun at Free Comic Book Day tomorrow, because that's what definitely we're doing. But
I killed my great card, but I'm currently using it as a bookmark in one of my books.
No, you're good. I mean, I need to find mine. Mine is somewhere as well. But as we wrap this up, guys, I'm going to start with Safari. You want to let people know where they can find you, sir?
Yes, you can find me here on all platforms underneath this name. I normally post on Mondays because Mondays are terrible, and I try to make them suck a little bit less. So I also do the editing behind the scenes work for the Blurred's Eye View page. So if you can't sit through a 2-hour podcast, I break things down into smaller segments. You also go to the home tab of the channel you can find my page, this page, and everyone else and what they do. My last video is actually an unboxing and a tribute to the late, great Akira Toriyama. So if you've ever been curious about the process of getting cards professionally graded or the scores on these, I'm doing a whole thing with PSA and Fathom events. So feel free to check that out.
Nice. What about you, Joe?
I was left unattended again and got more things.
Oh, good. As long as I'm not getting blamed, I'm good.
This time now I have Ash Ketchum yelling boom, boom, boom with the siren.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not getting blamed for this. But where can they find you, sir?
Oh, it's also an X.
Where did you buy this from?
And a race car driving steering wheel.
You're not getting ideas. No. Yeah, you're definitely.
That's with its own chase theme.
I see where Go-Go Loser Ranger got the inspiration.
Right.
That show is incredible, by the way. Every episode they keep up. I keep expecting it not to be bad, but I'm like, it's a simple concept, but I'm like, they just keep upping the ante every time.
Mm-hmm. It is definitely a good show.
As to where people can find me, I am very tired and overworked at the hospital, so I don't get to do too much. Twitter's Joe Italian last name, Twitch Joe Italian last name. TikTok, while it's still functional in America, Show a Guy Joe. YouTube is Show a Guy Joe. Hopefully, May things will calm down and I can actually put out content, considering what is now considered the first lap of Boom Boondra is officially finished with episode 9.
Okay.
I can put together some sort of compilation video, which I may ask Party to help me with, because I need to string 9 episodes into a single video at some point with clips. Glorious clips, which, by the way, whoever recommended CapCut, thank you. That makes it a lot easier than OpenShot. I actually understand CapCut. Also, I also keep thinking for some reason it's a guile move. Other than that, just standing around here doing things. If you've seen my TikTok, Good Cool Kaiser is over there. That thing is atrociously huge and hideous. I love it.
It's so I love it.
Oh God, it is hideous. I
saw your TikTok. I know.
I even went to the episode where it came from, and I'm like, this is even hideous in motion.
Dear God. All right. Well, before I do shameless plugging as usual, I do want to shout out to my boy Vaughn and Big BZA Dot on all social media. Also, shout out to blurredstation.com. I keep telling you guys, you keep asking for the table, the vehicle, the area that we can really show our content to where we can drive our own attention, and of course, monetary funds to. This is how you do it. For blurredstation.com, to join it, just go ahead and select the Join Now button. Of course, select the Blurred's Eye View Affinity membership. Select any member there. It is $10.99 a month. $10.99 a month for Blurred Station. Also, if you are a content creator and want to have your content shown on Blurred Station, you will need to be a member first. Once you are a member, you'll be able to get in contact with the people behind Blurred Station, and hopefully, after some talking to and some agreements, you'll be able to have your content on Blurred Station. Now, here's the beauty part about it is, you'll actually be able to keep your content, own it, if you will. The only thing they ask for is a piece of distribution, and honestly, that's not a bad deal. After 36 months out of paying $10.99 a month, you do have the option of owning a piece of Blurred Station. Almost like owning a piece of Netflix, Amazon, or Amazon Prime, or Hulu without actually paying a buttload of money for just a single share. Again, we keep asking for the table. That table is there for us, and it's definitely at blurredstation.com. Definitely check it out. You will not be disappointed. As for myself, guys, you can usually find me black_Spartan615 on the socials, as I do reviews on almost everything. You can also catch me on my other show, How the Frack We Got Here, which is every Wednesday at now 7, 8 p.m. ish, depending on when I can get to it. But you can definitely check me out there. You can also check me and Safari out on Blurred's Eye View every Tuesday and Thursday. As we are definitely we're cooking. I'll put it that way. Leave it to Safari and the man on the wall, Chris Fury, along with the others. Definitely some dope guest as well as our last guest, Obey the Author, that was on last Thursday. Definitely check it out at Blurred's Eye View, wherever your podcast things can be found there. Speaking of things that can be there and found there, let me make this banner a little bit bigger for you guys to see. If you copy and paste that banner into your browser, it'll take you to our link tree that's the YouTube and Facebook groups for all the podcasts. How the Frack We Got Here, Get Bit Off on this podcast. Like, share, subscribe, get the notifications up. We simply put cannot do this without you. Because again, we take your inputs, we take your comments, we take the debates, and we basically have them with you. Again, we're thankful for everybody that liked it, that watched it, especially if you see us in Rick's Comic City, because from my understanding, we get played in those comic book stores. So if you see me or Joe, walk up, say hi. We're friendly. Joe may do a lot with his hands though, so just might want to be careful. I'm playing, Joe. I'm playing. But yes, definitely check us out there. Again, we simply put cannot do this without you. At the same time, we love to do this every week with you guys. So definitely like, share, tell people about it, make it bigger, because that's really the only goal that we have. So with that being said, guys, we are definitely going to wrap it up. Again, we do appreciate everybody that liked, that watched, that let people know it's live. We certainly appreciate that. We will definitely be back here next Friday, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel, with news of the week and our grief counseling session of the next X-Men 97 episode, because we're only getting 2 episodes left for this season, so that's definitely going to be interesting. So before we get final words, any last words, fellas?
Magneto was right.
We did forget to mention the Bad Batch finale, which ended very well. Very happy with that, and it does tie directly into that series, or tied directly into probably Rogue One or main Star Wars. And then I also just thought of an X-Men joke that is actually mildly good.
What's that?
What do Cyclops and Mr. Sinister have in common? They both collect genius.
I was like, it took me a second. I was like, I get that. Nice on the dad joke. But yes, I need to catch up on the Bad Batch. I haven't watched it since the first season, and I was protectively trying to avoid social media spoilers about that. But we will talk about
a wonderful ending. But I feel that once again, Star Wars presents you with a risk and then walks it back, which was my biggest complaint with the Rise of Skywalker. Anytime there was tragedy or any sort of stakes, it was walked back. And they did kind of the same thing in this episode as well. So I was a little disappointed in one simple thing, but that's really about it. The episode overall was an hour long and wonderful. Also, payback for a very, very, very big callback from one of the worst episodes of the Clone Wars animated series.
Mm-hmm. Which one?
The Zillo Beast.
Right.
The one where it was the Godzilla parody. Big callback in this episode to it.
Now I'm gonna have to go back and watch the whole series again. But
I'd say as a Bad Batch fan, I am happy. As a Republic Commando fan, I am severely disappointed.
Damn.
It was just one Republic Commando against all of the entire unit. Basically, we know they're mutant clone troopers.
Nice. Also, I completely forgot. My co-host Chad, thank you for being on this. Thank you for being on with us.
Yeah.
Although your watch lists are definitely gonna get reviewed after this episode. Although you might want to avoid your mom, since you just confessed to telling some. Yeah, but she can go back and watch this.
What if I take it off the platform?
You're not that talented. But you don't got that kind of access.
I'm the one to post this on Spotify.
At the same time, you just admitted at the beginning of this episode that you told a kid that you can get these hands. That's on you.
He tried me first.
Oh, that's good.
He almost caught these hands.
Yeah, let me go ahead and hand you the shovel so you can go ahead and pick your plot out back in the backyard. But anyway, as we wrap this up, guys, last thing we'll say about the Give It podcast. Again, we're all about fandoms. We love them. We share them. We debate them to a certain extent. However, we are not toxic gatekeepers. We are not going to sit there and tell somebody differently because their tastes are different than our own. We simply want to enjoy sharing things that bring people joy, that bring people happiness. At the same time, guys, you just simply got to be welcoming. Again, we are not the ones. Cosplay is for everybody, number one. Mangas are for everybody. Animes are for everybody. At the same time, if you don't like something, simply keep it to yourself. And above all else, don't be a dick. That being said, we're going to wrap this up, guys. Thank you all for watching. The playback will be back up on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch for tomorrow. Aside from that, he's been Tafari, he's been Joe, I've been Will. This has been Give It Podcast, guys. And also, that's been Chad, who still may or may not be alive by next week, but we'll take bets on that. But anyway, take care of yourselves and each other, guys. Enjoy the fandoms.
Eat a cheeseburger.
Enjoy Free Comic Book Day tomorrow, and enjoy a cheeseburger. Peace.